I have pivoted, I say. I did this, I've shown you that. I did that, I've shown you that. I'm going to build this cabinet. You'll have to go back an episode or two and see that cabinet. If you remember, it's a lot like the Shasta. Here's the bottom. So it's framed in right here. And it is, hey, great camera works. So glad you stopped by. But that's going to be the bottom. And this will be the front. So remember, I have got to, on the bottom of it, I hope you can even see that. I have got to put that design on the bottom. So approximately 1 3/4 sticks out. Let me take this out of that bright sun. So you see there? It's just a touch less than 2. So we'll see how it looks. But I have allowed for that, compensated for that on this. So it's really going to be a 13-inch tall cabinet here. But these bottom, within 2 inches is going to be decorative. So got to build that. Remember, those were sliding doors. So I've got to bring it. So let's just say, let me see if I can find, come with me if you will. There we go. So let's say that this right here is my opening, which obviously it's too big. But if that's my opening, I have got to have the door to the opening be a touch bigger than that. And it has to have enough room to go this way to open. See? Because it's not going to be a 2-track system like the other. So I have got to be very cognizant of how big I build these doors and door openings, because they have to be able to slide this way, which we can do. We've got plenty of room. We've got 84 inches. So, you would think that you could probably do an 18-inch, somewhere around a 16 to 18-inch cabinet right here and allow it to slide open 16 inches. That takes up 32. So 32 and 32 is 64. That gives me 20 inches in the middle to put a light. And that's a lot of room for a light. So we may make these 24. That would be 48, which would leave me 16? Something like that? I don't know. I'll do the math better later. But whatever it comes out, no, wait. 24, 48. No, that's too much. That's too much. I'll figure it out. I'm mathing in front of you, and I'm not mathing today. I'm more like Curly today. He's going to, watch, he's going to drop. He can't do it. He's going to drop. Oh, okay. So whatever I need over here, I'll make it here so that it looks good. And I'd like to save about 12 inches for a light there in the middle, because they have that Coleman. So I have to rebuild that. Glad I reminded myself. So I will build that into the structure. And then on the bottom part of the structure sits up. And then there's going to be another inch where there's going to be a piece cut out for this to slide into. It's going to slide like this. Ooh, you like that? Hey, look at this. Getting better. All right, I'm sorry. Let's get out of here. This was the only piece I still had that repeated more than once that was in decent shape. So I had to take that and repeat it to make a template. And then I ran it down there 3 times to try to build that. A little shaky right there, but like there. I'll round that off. I've got the jigsaw, but I got the tiniest blade with the tiniest teeth. And it's really as for metal, scrolling, but it will scroll through this without tearing it up. So that's what we're looking for. I wanted to show you where I'm at. I'm going to work on this and try try to build that front and get it glued up like I've got this glued up. And, well, look, it's kind of disco in here today. But yeah, then I have those two pieces. Then I can pop them right in there. And I might, no, I'm going to get it put together before, I don't know. Maybe I was going to call them windows. Maybe I will cut out the cabinet door openings. I'll think about it. You'll find out. Looks pretty good, really, for not having much of a template. Let's see if I can get you a reasonably not terrible shot. How's that look? Reasonably unterrible. So I think that came out pretty good. And that will give me a template because I'll have to break that down to put it on the inside of the cabinet door opening. So that's, what am I even doing? You know what that looks, it's curvy. That's what I'm gonna do though. I'm gonna do it, I think I'm gonna do it right now. So there. Okay, here's where I'm at. I saved that space in there and I feel pretty comfortable that I can go right here. So this little guy really will be just fine in here. Then I will back it down a little bit to just maybe be 2 on this side, which is fine because you want this inset here for the knob to go all the way. And of course it'll be back this way over here and just use matching sides. Whoop. So I will trim those out with the nubs going in, and I will save this space for that Coleman. And that will give this enough space to go this way and slide in here. Because remember, we've got to put, probably at least an inch and a quarter in here for the frame. So we'll be, I think it's going to be just perfect. And then that'll give us enough room here. I mean, that looks like a lot of space, but it's really not because remember, we've got those shelves to build out towards the door and to the cabinets on the other side. So, just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna stencil these out, and I think I'm gonna cut them. Here's where I ended up. Sticking that up with a 1/2 inch because there's gonna be a light attached to it. Got the end pieces put on. And as you can see, there's a slot there. It's a runner, I guess you could say. And another one down here so that these doors can slide freely. And there's plenty to go from here to there. So I think we are successful. I've got to let it dry, so that's probably as far as I'm gonna get. I did put some chalk lines down here, right on the edge of this. So I know not to go above that. And then this right here, that will slide right in here. And it won't stick down below this. That would be embarrassing and a whole wasted 1/2 day. So I think tomorrow morning when I come out here, what I will do is I will take that piece, I will attach it here. So far, I've been able to do this without putting any staples or any nails, brad nails even, in the face of this. Same here. This wouldn't have mattered as much because it's going to be facing down, but it's just the way I roll lately. I do need to add those. So I'm going to add those, and I'm going to add some other strengthening parts in here. Because right here in the middle, Vicky does have a light that must go there that is not open for discussion, even with an executive decision. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, I'll share my progress with you. You saw me working on that. It's dry now, but I'm going to put it together in the morning so some glue can get set up. Probably gonna have to use a couple of nails towards the bottom, but that's okay. You guys know Amber Shellac's cool with that. All right, let's step up here. Look at how big that cabinet is. Every bit of 22 going across. So that's going to be the gigantic, it's not gigantic, but it's a big refrigerator. We may put a little access right there, and that's going to be 2 doors. One door was just too big. It's going to be open on the inside, but that's what we're going to do with it. So we'll get that skinned out tomorrow. Then we can amber shellac that, if we so desire. We're going to amber shellac the part that goes up here, if we so desire. Or I could just get wacky and build the kitchen, which I might do. It'll take a while. That's a big old kitchen. All right. Spoiler alert, because this is a long time in the future when you see this. I got to go inside because we got a live going on. See you around. How awkward can this shot get? Well, there it is. I came out this morning. I was getting this together, and I had to glue a couple parts onto the bottom just for stability. And I thought, well, while that's drying, I'm going to make the doors for this, the sliding doors. And then it occurred to me, I don't think I told you how I did that. I didn't know for quite some time. I kind of do, but I really didn't make them myself. This is really the first time making them myself. So I'll show you what I'm going to do, or what I did, in less awkwardly. So as you can see, this is the bottom, because it's got the trim hanging down. This is the top. Okay, so what I did was I took just a regular, let me grab a regular piece over here. If I could do any worse camera work, I would. So let's say that this is this, okay? So we want that to look like this here, but under here, we need to, what I do, I will just tell you what I do, is I run it through the table saw going both ways, but I want it to go a 1/2 inch deep, approximately a 1/2 inch deep. So when it lays down here, this 1/2 inch is cut out and it's open, all right? And then I lay that across here on the top. The top has to be the bigger cutout, the 1/2 inch cutout. Now, when I do my bottom, let's say I'm working on the bottom here, I'm only gonna do a 1/4 inch deep cutout. So that's only a 1/4 inch deep right here. And what that allows it to do is for you to put this in, you slide it all the way up, and then it falls in here and it can't come out because I had an extra 1/4. So it's down here a 1/4 and down here a 1/4. And by measuring these, slip that in, and now it can slide. And because it's going to be sitting up the whole time, it will lay in this bottom track, not the top track. It's just being held in there. And so I can slide it back and forth. Hey, not bad. See what I'm doing here? Don't worry, it covers it up, right? So that, let me just do this. That's how I accomplished that. It's a lot simpler than I made it in my mind. I've had sliding doors before. I just kept the bottom part and the top part, and I'm just like, you could figure this out. That's not hard. It's not hard at all, really. It was just, I don't want to say intimidating, but I just didn't want to do it. But I'm like, just do it. Could you just do it? And I did it, and now I've got both sides working just fine. So that's how I did that. Hope you find that interesting.